Okay, let's imagine that you have an idea for a trading strategy that you think could be wildly profitable in cryptocurrency, but you want to test it out. You want to know, okay, what is my risk to reward? How much money would I have made over this period of time? What is my exposure? And your strategy could be based on RSI, price action movement, moving averages, MACD, whatever it is, or a mixture or combination. It could be based on portfolio balancing, whatever it is. You want an algorithm to go back in time to look at all the price action for a crypto and trade with no emotion for you in the past and tell you how much money you would have made. And not only that, you want to automate this so that going forward, you can execute those trades without having your emotion in the market. Now, I was really blown away by a book that I listened to about 10 years ago, I would say, called Millionaire Traders. So I had this on audiobook, and I was fascinated because there was a trader in here who made millions of dollars trading in foreign exchange through automated trading, through coming up with an idea, putting it to the test. If it was profitable going backwards, he deployed going forwards. And if that was profitable, he would add to that position and call them the blue swan strategies and kill the bad ones. And he made millions of dollars doing this. I was fascinated by it. And that's actually how I started to learn a little bit of automation, a little bit of Python, MetaTrader 4, etc. And it became really fascinating to me. Now, the problem is that for a lot of folk out there who enjoy trading, who want to trade, who have an idea, they don't really have programming experience, and access to data can be really expensive, or you have to buy into one of these softwares out there that are quite constrictive. You can drag and drop and change different filters, etc., but that same rigidness is available to many people, and so you have more competition there. So I've been waiting for some time for something to come out that mimics what we have in the stock market. In the stock market, we have something called Quantopian, which gives a really, really good solution. You can actually program in some code, you can program in some instruction and have this engine go back and calculate how profitable you would have been. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on Quantopian because I'm not really interested in it anymore. I'm interested in crypto because I believe there's far more of an advantage for traders in crypto than there is in the stock market. But I've been looking for a long time for where is the equivalent of Quantopian in cryptocurrency, where I have the same kind of framework, the same kind of flexibility, etc. And so I've been looking for something like this for some time. And finally, through working with the Crix exchange, we now have this sandbox. So Crix have actually allowed us access to go and do algorithmic back testing for free. I don't know how long it'll be free, by the way, but it's free right now. And you can actually go to sandbox.crix.io and go to this bot section where I'm at right now. And you can go and implement a strategy. You can code up a strategy, or if you don't know coding, it doesn't matter. You can change parameters for a strategy and say to the computer, okay, go back and test this over time and tell me how much money I would have made. I'm going to give you an example. So for example, down here, I'm just going to go to, I don't know, mean reversion. And you'll notice over here, I can select a few parameters. So I have Ethereum to Bitcoin. I can change the time period. I can change the number of days, the thresholds, etc. So there's a number of parameters I can change in here and play around with. But what I want to do is click simulate strategy and show you what this is doing. So there's some code behind this I'm going to show you in a minute. But what it's doing is it's executing that code over every single price bar. So if I go back and I look at all these price bars, it's looking at every single price bar, looking at the logic that's programmed in and trading that for me historically, which is really kind of cool. And now it's complete, so it's giving me some results. It's saying that this algorithm returns 30%. The market made a loss of 20%. Now this is really interesting because what that means is if I had bought and held crypto and moved with the market, I would have lost 20% of my capital. Had I actually deployed this strategy over here, this mean reversion strategy, I would have made a gain of 30%, meaning that I beat the market by 51%. Now my Sharpe ratio is still pretty low, it's 1.27, so ideally I'd want it to be higher, and my maximum exposure at any point in time was 13%. But that is how quick I could tell that. This really didn't take long. I didn't pause the video or anything while that was running. It took a little bit of time and it went and traded this historically. Now I want to show you over here, you can see on the chart where I would have bought, where I would have sold, where I would have bought, where I would have sold, and you can see this profit and loss graph over here as well. So you can see the trends, etc. Now, I don't suggest you just go and deploy a mean reversion strategy into the market right now. What I'm saying is that you can have an idea and you can implement it here yourself. Now, if I switch over to the code section, And for those of you who really don't know any Python or programming, don't worry, you don't need to. In fact, this is a great way to learn. And if you like, I'll do some tutorials as well on how to build your own trading strategy. And I'll start right from the basics. I'll do it in a like a for dummies format because that's how I had to learn it. So if you want that, just put, trading ! And I'll do those videos very, very soon because this is something I'm focused on right now. So when you look at this over here, there's actually not very much code at all involved with this strategy. And it's all, when you read through it, it's actually all really, really intuitive. And you can come over to this code, you can change some parameters and then simulate the strategy again. And then see, okay, how much profit would I have made this time? Now, when you go over to this bot section, and again, it's free at the moment, you will notice that there are some pre-made algorithms. So if I go to, for example, Bollinger Bands, I can say, get this strategy, and it will actually save the strategy to my area, to my own algorithm. So when I go back to bots over here, I can go down to my algorithms, I can go to Bollinger Bands, I can go to the code or the UI, I can change things, I can run the strategy, etc. So where you have this ability to, in fact, I'm going to go to this job that we just ran now, where you have this ability to write some code and then run the strategy and see where it would have bought and sold is just like the Quantopian model. In fact, when you look at the code, the actual structure of the code, this initialized context, this handle data, which I'm going to talk about in future videos, is pretty much exactly the same. It's very similar to the zipline framework for Quantopian. So anyone who's used to trading with Quantopian is going to find this really, really straightforward, and they're going to be able to take strategies they're aware of very quickly and deploy them on crypto and see how profitable they would have been. Now, what's even more fascinating, and I want to let you know a bit behind the scenes, because whilst I've been working with Crix, I also got a chance to work with the guys who developed this engine over here. And what I noticed going through these different strategies is a lot of very basic strategies that you would never deploy in the stock market actually do come out as profitable here. And that really caught my attention. And I thought about it and I thought, wow, that actually makes sense, because the competition, the amount of layers in crypto, etc., it's just so much better geared for retail traders. So I got really excited about this, and it really gave me that comfort that, there's no better time to be in crypto than now. And I thought this was really cool. So I thought I would share it with you guys. So one of the things that's very important to note over here, when you go to this trade section on the sandbox, the Crix sandbox, is that this operates like a fully functional exchange. You can actually go with test crypto in a testnet environment or a testnet-like environment and trade crypto. You can come here and place market orders, etc. And to do that, all you need to do is select which crypto here you want to look at and enter the amount and buy or sell. And to go and get your test funds, and again, don't send real crypto here. That's really important because this is all test crypto. You can actually just create these wallets and you can create these test balances. So Crix right now is actually a fully functional exchange in a test environment. And to go and take advantage of that, you just go to sandbox.crix.io. And again, none of this costs any money. You can do this all for free right now, which is really, really exciting. If you've got any questions, just go down here to the feedback section or post any comments in below this video, wherever you're watching this video, to ask any questions or anything that you're interested to know more about. Until the next one, take care and talk soon.